What does it take to be a leader? Some might say it is about giving directions, making big decisions, or standing in front of a team. But from my perspective as a tennis player for 13 years, what if I told you leadership starts in the court, or in the office, or in the classroom? What is if I told you leadership isn't about telling others what to do, but instead it starts with controlling the decisions you make for yourself? Let's talk about tennis, a sport where you are completely alone. No teammates to rely on, no coach to give you instructions mid match, only you, the court, and your opponent. And yet, some of the greatest examples of leadership happen right there. When in the middle of the match, the pressure is overwhelming. When you are both the captain and the only team member. Leadership starts in the most complicated situations when you have to take control and responsibility for your actions. Imagine this: Serena Williams, French Open 2015. She is playing the semifinals. She is sick, exhausted, and can barely move. Much of the players would have give up, but Serena didn't. She adapted, changed her strategy, and found a way to keep fighting until she reached the victory. That is true leadership. Leadership isn't about to have everything under control or predicting the future with a crystal ball. It's about knowing how to control what you can when things fall apart. It's about knowing how to adapt. Leadership begins with the creativity you have to solve those complicated situations and set the example for others. Nobody is going to hit you as hard as life does, said Rocky Balboa. But what matters is how hard you take those hits and keep moving forward. So the question is, will you give up or will you find a way to keep going? Now, let's talk about Rafa Nadal, a player who isn't a leader just because of his talent, but because of his dedication to hard work. Have you ever seen him giving motivational speeches or trying to impress people with words? No, not his style. His leadership is in his actions. He trains harder than anyone else. He fights for every point as if we're the lads. And here is when he demonstrates how true discipline looks like. And we have the second lesson about leadership. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be a leader. You just need to be the one who acts the best. If you really want to inspire others, you don't have to tell them what to do. You have to show them how it's done. Now imagine this situation. Wimbledon 5 final 2019. Novak Djokovic against Roger Federer. The entire stadium is cheering for Federer. Every point Novak wins is met with silence, and every mistake he makes is met with an applause. How do you lead in that moment? Djokovic made a choice. Instead of letting the crowd get him, he used the noise as a motivation. He stuck to his strategy, blocked out everything else, and guess what? He won the championship. This is exactly what leadership is: making decisions under pressure, choosing confidence when doubt starts to creep in, creating a future filled with hope and trust in yourself and your abilities. In tennis, in an exam, in an important choice for your future, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to believe in yourself. So let me ask you again, what does it take to be a leader? What does it take to be a leader? It's not about giving orders or being in charge of a team. It's about having resilience when things go wrong, inspiring others with your actions, and making tough decisions when the pressure is overwhelming. Tennis teaches us that leadership starts from within. You don't need a team to be a leader. You just need the ability to guide yourself through life's toughest moments. Serving as an inspiration for others and teaching them impossible things can be possible, and much important that we all can be leaders from our position. So the next time you face a challenge, whether on the court, in the classroom, or in your professional life, will you break or will you lead yourself to the victory?